What was your favorite Sting? Was it Surfer, the Crow?
Surfer Sting. Surfer Sting was my favorite Sting.
I always liked the Crow.
I did like the Crow Sting. I liked that little run, but I was always hoping he would go back to Surfer Sting, and he loved that gimmick so much. He even did the Joker Sting.
Yeah, with Tiana. I wasn't really into that one.
Yeah. I understand the change, and it was a big, huge change in character for Sting because he didn't talk for like a year.
Mm-hmm. And then he also did when he was in the Wolfpack, he did the Red Crow Sting.
That was a little towards the end of that whole run, but Surfer Sting is always my favorite Sting. I still remember going to that 7-Eleven, getting that little Surfer Sting action figure, and it was on. It was on with the Big Boss Man, who also got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think it was his daughters who inducted him, a very well-deserving Hall of Fame member. I think he won the hardcore title, but he never really, in the good old days of wrestling, he never won a title.
No, I believe he won the tag team titles when he was in the Corporation. I remember that, and another time. And he main evented once. It was Armageddon when he went up against the Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship, when they're doing that whole angle with
where he drags his father's...
and they mentioned that at the ceremony. The daughters mentioned that, and they also mentioned about how Pepper is okay and he's safe and sound. If you remember back in the Attitude Era days, Al Snow and Big Boss Man, Al Snow had his little furry companion, Pepper, and then the Big Boss Man decided to cook him up and feed him to Al Snow, and he's like, "Here, have some pepper steak." I remember that segment, and it always made me laugh when I would rewatch it.
He, considering what the Big Boss Man character was, he was able to stay as the Big Boss Man and change that character, evolve as he got, as his career got, well into the late 90s.
It was perfect because he was like the enforcer. He was Vince McMahon's special enforcer when he took off that mask.
He had the SWAT suit on.
He was actually the first Shield, if you think about it.
Yep. Imagine him in the Shield.
He'd be the leader of the Shield.
And then, as we were kids, he had the cop uniform on. Mm-hmm. The thing I'll never forget is him against the Mountie at SummerSlam 91, where it was like our cop against Canada's cop. And it was the loser spent the night in jail in New York City. And, the Mountie got thrown in jail and had to deal with all those people in there. All the, the
convicts.
The convicts in jail. And it was just a funny segment. And then he went to WCW. Mm-hmm. And of course, he couldn't use the name Big Boss Man, so they just called him the Boss. But then they changed him around and made him a Guardian Angel, and then Big Bubba Rogers.
Yep, I remember that.
And then his name, and then Ray Traylor. I think that's his real name.
Yeah.
But that was those are careers that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That are like him, Mr. Perfect. And I'm waiting for maybe like a Ravishing Rick Rude to get in there.
That would be nice.
Owen Hart. I mean, these are names that need to be in the Hall of Fame.
And I know they have the Hall of Fame, but wouldn't it be nice if the WWE actually had a Hall of Fame?
I think they're in the works to be making one. I think it's going to be in Florida. No, I think it's going to be in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, by like the Performance Center?
I think so.
It'd be nice if it was like actually near the headquarters.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice ride for us. I mean, Florida's a little far.
Yeah. Another group, a group that actually got in, and another group deservedly so, the Fabulous Freebirds. Mm-hmm. They got into the Hall of Fame. Michael P.S. Hayes. I didn't get to see their run against the Von Erichs in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, you weren't around then?
I wasn't around then to see that, but I do remember him and Jimmy Jam Garvin as a tag team, and then they had this guy called Bad Street, who was fully masked in like a Spider-Man costume, almost like. And I remember them winning. At the time, they actually had a triple tag team title.
I do remember that.
I think it was like the U.S. three-way tag team titles at the time. Mm-hmm. There was like you could never put three people together like that anymore.
Well, you have the New Day.
Oh, the New Day.
And they inducted them.
Yeah.
So I guess they're kind of going towards that way of the Freebirds.
Yep. Stan Hansen also gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. And one of your favorites, Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah. Snoop Dogg.
And the celebrity wing.
Woohoo, yeah. Yeah. Woohoo.
Joan London got the Warrior Award, which they'll be doing every year.
That was nice.
Yeah, the Warrior Award is, I think, going to be a staple for a long time, and deservedly so.
And then you have Jacqueline, who got in. I think she was a...
You called that.
I did. I was like, you know what? We're in Texas area. I think Jacqueline's... Even before they announced it, and they even leaked it online, too. I was just like, I think Jacqueline's going to get in.
She was probably one of the first of the real women to be wrestling in the WWE.
Remember her feud with Sable?
Sable, Chyna. I mean, Ivory. Very well-deserved honor for her to get into the Hall of Fame. And what a night the Hall of Fame is every year.
You're missing one other guy. The Godfather.
The Godfather. How can I forget The Godfather?
But the one thing, I don't think they talked about Papa Shango, because that was a big character.
Well, the character that got in was the Godfather.
But
just like Razor Ramon got in,
but not
Scott Hall.
So will he get in again as Papa Shango down the road?
Probably not. Papa Shango really didn't contribute much.
But he main event a few times.
He did not get the fanfare that the Godfather got as a wrestler.
Did the Godfather ever main event?
I mean, he was champion, Intercontinental Champion.
That's not main event, though.
You don't have to main event to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, did Coco Beware main event anything?
No. He just had that
there
parrot.
You go.
So
thinking, what wrestlers now who will headline next year's WrestleMania
be in Orlando.
In
So is there any Florida wrestlers that, off the top of my head, I can't think of any that would be put into the Hall of Fame? We'd have to go into the archives, the Encyclopedia of Wrestling, and see all the wrestlers from the past.
Fans still waiting for Owen Hart, British Bulldog. I said Ravishing Rick Rude.
I would like to see all of them in. I know they won't go in all at the same time, but that would be good to see.
I mean, it's possible. Usually your headliner you want there.
Yeah. So you would need somebody else who's from your past that's still alive that you want to have. So I can't even... Names don't even come to mind right now.
It's time to put the Nasty Boys in.
It's just funny. Actually, that makes sense because they're from... One of them lives down in Florida.
Time to get nasty-sized.
So, maybe?
I'm looking forward to it. Let's get that going. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, yes, the Showcase of Immortals. WrestleMania. We talk. We review it. We want to know your thoughts as well, so talk to us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at UCR Network, and Facebook.com at UCR Network. Let us know your thoughts on NXT TakeOver, WrestleMania, Raw. We're going to talk about that as well. It is the only show, the best show on wrestling, Ringside Rumble Radio, here on the UCR Network.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and
pour me out. This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
These are the sounds of someone taking their eyes off the road. Texting while driving is more than distracting. It's dangerous. Do us all a favor. When you're on the road, stay off the phone. A message from CTIA, America's Wireless Companies, and the National Safety Council.
Unified Championship Radio.
yeah. You only got one shot. One shot to listen to Ringside Rumble Radio here on the UCR network.
Well, that's kind of not true, though. We got so many shots, especially free shots.
I know, but the song just kind of brought me back to my high school days. Anyway, you're listening to Ringside Rumble Radio here on the UCR network, powered by Spreaker.com, and now free on iTunes. Make sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/UCR network. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UCR network. And make sure to tweet to us or comment on Facebook. We want to know your thoughts about the NXT Takeover in Dallas, the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, and now the one, the only WrestleMania 32, which we're going to get into right now. Let me tell you, my friend, I was quite disappointed with this WrestleMania. I mean, I heard from reading the card and online, everybody was outraged and how this WrestleMania was going to be flat. And I was like, maybe not. Maybe they'll pull out something out of their bag of tricks, and maybe something at the end will happen to get everybody excited and get the oh my god factor. But it didn't happen at all. I was really bored the whole night. I don't know about you.
I think the fact that it went on for almost 7 hours was a testament to everyone being tired, especially the ending going as planned, and them going through with the storyline. But starting off, I mean, I went to WrestleMania 29, and we were online for a long time waiting to get into MetLife Stadium. Texas was no better, as you can see when they did the live feed showing the helicopter angle outside of the AT&T Stadium of people trying to get in to the arena. And before anyone can get in, Kalisto and Ryback are in the ring fighting. I mean, there was nobody in there.
That's what I heard. That's the match I missed because, of course, again, they put the United States title on the pre-show when it should be on the main card. You're trying to build this title up at least. I mean, it's a title, for goodness sakes. At least put it on. I mean, it's not the European Championship. It's not the Light Heavyweight Championship.
I mean, the pay-per-view started at 7 o'clock. Pre-show started 5. Matches started at 5:30. 5:30. The night didn't end until 11:45.
Yeah, I was off when the main event hit. I was like, I just can't. I'll watch it tomorrow on the network.
Like we said, Kalisto defeated Ryback. I mean, at this point, where in the world are you taking Ryback? I mean, let's just...
Absolutely nowhere.
I mean, throw him in NXT for now or something. I mean, because you're really not doing this. You built Ryback up as the Goldberg now look-alike, and they say, no. But he goes, and I know this was to build Kalisto, but what are we doing Ryback now?
You're building Kalisto in front of nobody. Nobody's there to see the match. There's no oohs and ahs going on when he's hitting his whatever spots he hit. I read that he didn't even do anything spectacular. It was just a regular match, and Ryback was a little rough here and there, dominated a bit, and then Kalisto got the win clean.
Yeah, and it was a rough few weeks that we've missed of them building up WrestleMania. I mean, they really had a hard time doing this. I know a lot of wrestlers were out, but come on, man.
But now's the time. If people are out, then you build up new superstars. You don't bring in guys who have their heyday just to get a cheap pop for 5 seconds and to knock down guys who are on the current roster.
I mean, yeah, it was absolutely a rough build to this WrestleMania. The first match is probably forgettable.
Well, I didn't even see it, so yeah, it was forgettable for me.
And it was shorter than the next match was Team Total Divas versus Team Bad and Blonde, which consisted of Lana, Naomi, Tamina, Emma, and Summer Rae, and I call this match the goodbye to the Bellas.
Yeah, goodbye to the Bellas, goodbye to the Divas, and
you know, a week beforehand, they bring Eva Marie in. She gets booed, and she barely gets used in this Total Divas match
because she can't wrestle. She's still